Hello students, welcome back to our English class. So today we're going to start with another chapter from your English prose, that is chapter 3, 2 stories about flying. So under this chapter we have two parts. Part 1, His First Flight by Lyme O'Flaherty, and the second part, The Black Aeroplane by Frederick Forsyth. So let's start. Let me introduce you to the chapter. The chapter 2 Stories About Flying is a combination of two inspiring stories, His First Flight and The Black Aeroplane. These stories show that bravery and cowardice are the comparative terms. It tells us that one should not lose hope while in danger, like the young seagull and the pilot of the plane. They succeeded in achieving their aim when they tried hard to overcome with their fear. Here are the list of characters in the story. So under part 1, His First Flight, there are the family of seagulls consisting of 6 members, and then the young seagull who is unable to fly due to fear. So that is part 1. Under part 2, The Black Aeroplane, we have the narrator who is a pilot and is flying his Dakota aeroplane from France to England. And the next one is The Unknown Friend. So this unknown friend is a pilot who is flying the black aeroplane. And finally, the working woman in the control center. Now, let us go to part 1, His First Flight. So this story is about a family of seagulls. There was a young seagull in the family who was unable to fly even after several attempts. So the story highlights the importance of family and friends in one's life. It also gives the message that one needs to believe in oneself to overcome all the hurdles of own life. Let us look at the Seagull family. The Seagull family consists of 6 seagulls: the mother, father, 3 sons, and 1 daughter. So all of them except the youngest son are expert in flying high. So his other siblings, they have already learned how to fly and they are soaring high. His parents have tried several times to teach him how to fly, but he is scared to do that. He is scared to fly, and he does not want to try it anymore. So he relies on the food that his parents bring back from their flights. The youngest son is afraid of flying as he thinks that if he flies, his wings would not support him and he would fall down in the sea below. Even his parents scolded him. They even threatened him if he doesn't fly, then he would die of hunger. But he does not try at all because he was very scared of flying. After so many failed attempts trying to let the young seagull fly, his parents leave him alone on the rock without food. They even mock him for his cowardice, for his fearfulness. The young seagull looks at his brothers and sisters enjoying swimming, diving in the seawater for fish to feed for themselves, but no one comes to offer food. They did not pay attention to him. As the time passes by, the young seagull could not tolerate the hunger and the heat. He moves closer to the edge of the cliff and pretends to fall asleep, but nobody takes notice of him. Nobody paid attention. His brothers and sisters have already had hearty breakfast and they all seem to be enjoying their leisure time. The father seems busy admiring and cleaning his feather. The mother, being a mother, looks at him and tries to tempt him with pieces of fish. The young seagull begs the mother to bring him some food, but his begging and crying does not seem to affect her. The young seagull was very hungry. He was surprised enough at his mother's ignorance of his pitiful condition. Thus, maddened by hunger, he dives for food. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space. The young seagull begins to fall in the sea. He is afraid of drowning, so he tries to spread his wings outwards and begins flying. He feels a little dizzy, but his fear disappeared. He soars slowly downwards and then upwards. He could finally fly on his own. The young seagull becomes so happy and soars higher and higher. It was really a joyous moment for the whole family. His brothers and sister, along with his parents, came to encourage him and cheer him. The young seagull successfully made his first flight. Okay, so that is the end of part 1. Now let me introduce you to part 2, the black aeroplane. So in this story, the narrator was flying to England to enjoy his holiday. He wanted to reach England in time so that he could enjoy a good English breakfast with his family. The narrator was flying his aeroplane at night over France to England. He was eager to meet his family. He was dreaming of his holiday. So it was a lovely night. The moon was up, the stars were shining in the clear sky. Even the city Paris could be seen down below. So he decided to call the Paris control to get instruction about the way. When he called up the Paris control center, he was instructed to turn 12 degrees west. Everything was going well before he saw the storm clouds, and Paris was about 150 kilometers behind him. So I'm sure if we are in his situation, even us, we will start panicking. It was natural. So it was natural for the narrator to panic. He knew that it was not possible to fly up and over those storm clouds. He was confused for a moment. As everything was fearful at the moment, the narrator decided to risk and flew into the storm. And when he did that, everything went out of control. The compass as well as the other instruments stopped working. He was unable to see the outside of the plane as the plane was jumping and twisting in the air. He tried to contact the Paris control, but he could not. So he was lost in the storm. When he was in that helpless condition, suddenly the narrator saw another black aeroplane in the storm by his side without lights on its wings. It seemed strange to him, but he was glad to see another person in the storm. He felt as though he was not alone in the storm. The pilot of another plane waved at him and signaled him to follow. So he did that because he did not have any other choice at that moment. The narrator flew for half an hour, which was quite strange to him as he had flown only for 5 or 10 minutes. He was fearful, thinking that his fuel might run out, but suddenly he saw 2 bright lights in front of him. It was a runway, so he was able to land safely, which gave him a sigh of relief. Being able to land with just little fuel, it was like a miracle for him. After landing safely, the narrator came out of his plane to thank the pilot of the black aeroplane, but he was shocked to see no one there. He went to the control tower and asked the woman there about the place and the black aeroplane. Hearing his words, the woman laughed and said that there was no other aeroplane except his. It was a big surprise to the narrator. He was shocked and dumbfounded as he had no explanation for the miracle. So the story is left to the reader's imagination of who the pilot of that black aeroplane is, who helped him in the storm. So that is the end of this lesson. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Until then, take care and stay healthy.